Hello, it's Dr. Shadow MD, and we left off them going back to the world's end after gaining the knowledge of how to defeat evil god demi god, and now is currently um, looking for transportation off the place. They go investigate at the docks, found a pirate person which quickly got offended because Lily took charge of the conversation and wore Captain June's hat and kept saying "arg" and it offended the pirate a little bit, thinking he was openly mocking him. But they eventually got a boat rented, so they left World's End. And when they were passing by Zephyr, cannon shots rung out and hit the boat a couple times. And then they finally sailed around the bend and eventually got to Old Haven, to the ruins, where I didn't say this before, but they got, when they were in Port Haven the first time, they did commission someone to make a base at Old Haven, so they go, see if it's there. It is. It's not, like, it's ran down. It's been 6 months of disrepair. Go inside, and they find Oscar is hanging out. Lily bought a dragon egg, and because of time skip, left it, and Oscar raised it. So Oscar is now playing with a baby red dragon, and Lily's kind of pissed about that, because she wanted the baby dragon. But oh well. They also are greeted by Scooter. Scooter's at their base too. And Ayla Burke too, the monk lady from the Wild Hunt. They get told that since they were away, these six fractions took control of the entire kingdom. King's nowhere to be seen anymore. One faction is the Neo Wild Hunt. They broke off from the other sections altogether now and formed their own military group, and now are holed up in a fortified Port Haven. Other group is Kibao's Demon Army, is in Zephyr, which they got shot from, and then a ancient silver dragon named Sylvanus was seen around the Dwarven Forge. So they picked to go to fight Jill Wayfinder first, and they got Rogar to grow big and make hole in wall, but it made enough noise to cause a commotion. Everyone made stealth checks except for Milo. Milo just stood there, just deer in headlights, basically. But Ayla came to his rescue. Basically gestured that she was taking him for questioning and everything's okay. Don't mind the hole in the wall. And you're like, okay. And then those two had an exchange, very weird exchange. Milo looked Ayla, and Ayla didn't like it. He took more damage from her than this next boss fight. So while they were planning, their planning did not go very well. Everyone did their own thing. They dropped in, Oh well, Rogar dropped in, Potter jumped in through a portal, and then everyone else just kind of ran in from different sides. They had to fight a cannoner, some like high level knight guards, and Jill. Jill had a hand cannon, like a gun, but she was so. I would have made it fight Lily, but Potter was pissing her off even more. Because at one point, Potter was on top of a rock elemental being bombarded by like 5 dudes, including the boss. And it's really pissing me off because I hate the elementals because it has so much health. But they eventually did kill Jill. Took her gun, found a key on her, and that's where we left off for that night. Uh, Next session was them. They were going. They went to the docks, and I told them that this place has airships. So they commandeered a military airship that looked like it belonged to the Wild Hunt, and they weren't going to be using it anymore. So so for the use of this thing is powered by magic. So I did for them to use magic item or use Arcana check or something. So Lily had to drive the boat. Not very well, actually. She rolled more ones in that flying of that ship than in the whole campaign altogether, basically. Blew up the power source. They replaced it with the corruption crystal. The corruption crystal spawned a giant worm in the hull of the ship. Hold of the ship. It took Milo. Uh, so Rogar and Potter had to rescue Milo while Millie does a terrible job of trying to keep the thing in the air, plane in the air. The ship keeps it took a nosedive at one point, heading directly at the surface of the Earth. Eventually, she just got off and let Potter do the rest of the way, and Potter was able to save it. So they get to Zephyr. Get to Zephyr. They planned this out pretty well, actually. They see like hellhounds and like these demon generals, and using the airship, they dropped off everyone in back of them. So Lily made a wall of water, like a tidal wave. This did most of the damage to these people. One of the demon hellhounds got swept away with the water. Potter crashed the ship into a. Sorry. Crashed the ship into a group of people. After using Featherfall to gently glide back down to Earth. Nothing really happened in that boss. Like the first half of the fight, they just destroyed the demons, and then Kibao came up and tried to kill Rogar, and Rogar got the last hit on Kibao with burning hands, and I kind of I like how Critical Role does it. I like giving them that how would they like to kill the final boss, like the boss of the area, like how would you use your spell to kill them? So burning hands, grab onto them, superheat the armor, make this guy unrecognizable. I'm like, unrecognizable. Yep. Okay. Okay. See, naturally, I was gonna have it so like they could take the armor off him and realize it was Omega from the beginning that helped them prove the princess was a princess in Arcadia Falls the first time around. But nope, they don't get to learn that tidbit of information until if they watch this video. because they had to melt his face with burning hands, basically. And then later on, they're like, "Oh, is there any identification on this guy?" Like, he doesn't carry driver's license around with him, and you melted his face. No, you don't know who this is. So that was honestly it was pretty good. That was a fun fight actually. I got banished off a couple times on Lily. Lily's, Lily's now level 20, level 20 druid, arch druid god, basically. Um, so they got key off him too. And then the last person is an ancient silver dragon. Her name is Sylvanas. Um, they saw her flying overhead and head towards the forge, so they begrudgingly took off to the forge. They went to the main town. All the dwarves are dead. Everything's frozen. I think they found they did an investigation in one of the houses. They got a natural 20, so I had to give them something. So I made it so it was Oscar's parents' house. Like you see pictures of Oscar, and they're like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Yep." And in the corner you see frozen dwarves, elderly dwarves. So they go further into the cave and find the dragon's lair. This fight was a little bit more exciting. Rogar was on top of the dragon for most of the fight. Afraid of the dragon too, but I don't know what he did. He did something to intimidate the dragon, and the dragon got intimidated, so the fear canceled out, so they stopped being afraid of each other, sort of thing. Um, I was gonna leave Potter alone because he's a squishy human mage, or wizard. But after causing like almost over 100 damage with Meteor, I had to make the dragon switch attention to him, other than the two, like the little measly halfling and fire elemental in the hallway. So I turned over, flew over, and just decimated him. Like I did so much damage. His turn around, he casts Polymorph on Rogar to turn him into a giant purple worm. And then tries to move out of the way, but gets caught by a attack of opportunity, which was a bite, and he became a chew toy for a couple minutes. But basically, the fight devolved into a giant purple worm fighting an ancient silver dragon. And then, right at the end, Milo was able to push through his fear of the dragon to shoot an arrow to dink right into the neck, and then the dragon just died. The dragon had like 2 health left at that point, and like dink. And because he is now wielding Ventress, because it was more, it made more sense for the ranger to have the bow instead of the druid. And the druid and Lily is always in like elemental form, so she couldn't really use the bow, so they gave it to him. So the there's a tree now growing out of the side, out of the neck of the dragon. Uh, um, Unfortunately, I had 2 outcomes for this fight. They kill her, which they did. Other one was I gave them the option, like from previous experience, they know they can destroy the crystals onto them, and if they destroy the crystal, the fighting would stop. And but no, they could destroy the crystal. Have a conversation with it because silver dragons are good, and it was only being corrupted by the corruption crystal. So we became a recurring character in the next campaign, trying to seek redemption of all the innocents she killed. But nope, that's not gonna happen anymore because she is dead. And that's where we leave off. Next time will be their final boss fight.